You vintagey, I don't need a lot of effects kind of people that like the Fendery stuff, which is why I'm playing an S-type, but of course it's a McMall. We're looking at a pedal that kind of, wait a second, the mic is in the wrong direction. We're looking at a pedal that, not just kind of, but it exactly gives you the stuff that a Fender amp has that your amp might not have. So my Tone King Sky King, for example, has a reverb and a tremolo, because that's what all these classic-y kind of clean amps have. My Fender Deluxe Reverb, guess what? It has a tremolo and a reverb, because that's what these amps have. Now, my Rev Dynamis only has a reverb. The Marshall has nothing. Now, what if you want those Fendery sounds? What if you want the reverb and the trem for those sounds where you need that, the surfy stuff? There are some pedals that can do that. There are digital pedals. The Flint from Strymon is a very popular one. I just recently sold mine. There's the Treverb from Fender, which is so-so. I think it's way too wet when it comes to the reverb side, but that does that. So it's definitely a combination spring reverb and tremolo that several pedals do in order to give your amp that capability. This thing right there is rather big. It's called the White Whale. Wait a second, my poodle's trying to eat the brush. Noodle! So the White Whale from Crazy, old joke, from Crazy Tube Circuits from Greece is a pedal, but what the Flint and the Fender pedal do digitally, this does analogically. Weird. Digital, analog. Digitally, analogically. Okay, it does that. So we have a reverb side here with mix, tone, dwell. You can't see that because it's reflecting. And two settings. I tried to find out what they do, but I couldn't find it on the website. And you can turn that on off individually. And you can see here it's pumping. Those LEDs are very small. You can see this, my hand. It's not a really, really tiny hand. This is a big-ass pedal. But it's not as big as you would think. There's depth, volume for the tremolo, and there can be something about black and brown, something opto, and then some other thing. Who cares? We listen to how they sound. Both of them can be controlled with individual expression pedals on the back, if you wanted that. So there's individual inputs. The reverb expression will do the mix, and the tremolo expression will do the depth. We don't need to test that, you know how that works. And you're gonna ask yourself, why is the pedal so freaking high? It actually has 3 springs in it. It is a real analog spring tank. Just outside of a box. The first pedal of that kind that I tested was the Carl Martin Headroom, way early in the days when I started the channel, and Carl Martin sent me one. One of the problems of these pedals, at least for the Headroom, because I had to get 2 of them, was that it's a physical spring hanging in there, being attached, having, cables, whatever. And don't throw this around, because that stuff can break. Now, Anna Sounds has like spring tanks, stuff like this. What I like about this is it's a pedal. You put it on the pedal board, it's smaller than the Carl Martin and its tremolo. The Anna Sound is 2 different boxes. I like the idea of this. Now let's listen to the sound of that, and then we also compare it to the build and stuff in the Tone King. So we're going to go into an amp that doesn't have this stuff, which is the Rev Dynamis, with this Magmal. And right now this is the Rev Dynamis. This was on. See, this should be bigger so you can actually see that it's on. It's pretty subtle, right? That's one thing that I noticed. You do not get ultra mega drippy huge reverb. At least I can't. It is, and it's a spring, and it's good. But it's rather subtle. So that you really hear big reverb, you're gonna have to crank the shit out of it. But now it's pretty. Oh, how did I do that? Very, very pleasant sound. So maybe have the tone up, and then you can dial back the reverb. I don't know how to surf. But it sounds like you could do that. That is very cool. Let's see how the switch changes sounds. It's a little bit more drastic in the 3 setting. I don't know what that. Oh, 2 springs, 3 springs, probably. Ha ha! Two springs, 3 springs, and then summer. Okay, spring. Just don't be afraid of more drastic settings. You know, look where the knobs are. And then you've got all the wettiness you want. I'm putting the Antares overdrive in front of it. It handles drive well. Nice. Let's turn this off. And here's the tremolo. So the volume is to help with the drop. It's a little bit more, a little bit sharper, probably the Opto one, the black one. That's a real spring. You can kick it. For those of you who want to kick their spring. So it's not massive. It doesn't do trem, and it doesn't. It's those subtle texture sounds you get from those classic amps. Now let's compare it. We turn it off, and we're gonna go to the Sky King from Tone King. And I just set something up. Let's see. Spring from the amp. Kind of also lingers in the background. And the tremolo. Let's get more of that spring there. I'm back. Back to the other amp. Now there's tremolo and spring on the Sky King. Let's put tremolo and spring on the tremolo and spring. 'Cause we can. Look, it's fully analog. It's actually bigger than that. See? It's wet, it's drippy, it's up and downy with the volume. It's everything you want from an analog addition to your amp that doesn't have any of that. It does the job, and it's rather nice to play clean sounds with, I gotta say that. I think it clocks in at $299. You probably have some kind of boutique amp that doesn't have any of that shit, and you want the real deal. You don't want a digital emulation. You want to be able to kick it. White Whale, Crazy Tube Circuits, what else do you need to know? It's a very unique pedal. Sits kind of alone in the market because the other spring tanks are purely spring tanks, I think. So if that's what you want, that's what you get. I put a link below. And that's really all I got to say from here, except for the animals at the end.